Welcome back. There is a live look outside from the Oregon Coaster in its Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Okay, do your kids play club sports? The choice to play a particular sport year-round is a huge financial and time commitment for the whole family. So here to share the pros and cons of taking kids' sports to a new level, we welcome back psychologist Dr. Leah Katz. Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
This is a tough topic for a lot of families.
It's so relevant. I hear stories, sports stories every day.
A lot has changed even from when we were kids, and it doesn't seem like that long ago.
Right, I know.
We have to focus on kind of our approach as parents to begin with.
Absolutely, yeah.
Where do we start to kind of put them in a positive position?
You know, I think a lot of it comes down to other premises of having a good relationship with your kids, and that's just communication and open conversation. So making sure that you're checking in with your kids and you're not taking things for granted, which I see come up a lot in my clinical practice. You know, like kids are set on this sports course and they've been doing it since they were 3, and there's this expectation and assumption that everyone's still having fun and this is what's working for the family, and that's when misses tend to happen. So really making sure that we're checking in with our kids. How are you? Does it make sense for you to still be doing this? Are you still having fun? Why are you doing this? You know, so it's just that those kinds of conversations are really important.
And you know your kid too, so sometimes if they're not able to verbalize something, watching out for those cues that they're giving you in other ways whenever you can.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. That's a piece of it too. You know, if their behavior starts to change or their mood or they're not looking forward to practices consistently, absolutely.
And then the goals of the game in terms of just, I think sports are so good. They can give us so many qualities, but you can't always focus on the scoreboard or the win or the loss column.
And I think that once we start to do that, that's also when it all goes out the window. Like it's really, and if we think about the sports that we enroll our kids in as training for life, it can really shift how we approach them. And it's really, I mean, I think with anything we do ever, it's not about the outcome, because we cannot control outcome. And if we focus too much on performance and winning and all of that, it sucks the enjoyment out of what we're doing. And 2, it's just, we simply can't control it. So it's just like this endless loop.
Right, especially in the team sport arena, when you're just trying to cooperate and learn how to deal with other kids your age and peers and all those things. Okay,
exactly.
Let's talk about burnout. So many kids are just done at such young ages.
I know, and like in preparing for today, I was looking at different stats, and some of the stats are just so high. I was surprised by it. I think like one of the studies I was reading is 70% of kids by the time they're 13 are just done with organized sports, and a lot of that has to do with burnout, unfortunately.
And it's just a big time commitment. I mean, even if you're not on the club circuit, let's say just playing in high school, I remember being like, well, I want to do drama and student government and all these other things, and you can't fit everything into that schedule.
No, you definitely can't. Something has to give. Otherwise, and I work with teens with a lot of anxiety, something else gives, you know, like mental health.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, let's talk about creating healthy habits around sports and kids, starting when they're young and mixing it up, giving them different sports opportunities.
Yeah, that's so good. Again, because a lot of kids will get set on this track from the time that they're really young, and they play one specific sport for years and years and years, and they lose track of why they're even doing it. But when our kids are young, letting them experience different kinds of sports, and I think this is a big piece of it too, talking with them about why are we playing? You know, we're not playing to win, like we were saying before. Like we're playing to move our bodies and test our limits and collaborate with friends and have a good time, and that's a really important foundation for healthy sports. I think it's like I was reading something about this, and I really like the way it was framed. Developing a healthy relationship with sports. That's what it's all about.
And sometimes, can you just take a break, maybe take a season off and say, what does my life look like without this?
Absolutely. And I think, again, a lot of people get lost in our ability to do that. We feel like there's social pressure, peer pressure from kids, parents feel pressure from other parents, and we feel like we've just got to keep on going. But taking that break can be such a gift in getting space, creating clarity about what we want to do, even just recharging. So just a couple months off can help us recharge and then recommit to playing the sport, because there are a lot of benefits when we do it in a healthy way.
Sure. What about the tryout process, especially as kids become a little bit older, let's say teenage age, they didn't make the cut on their dream team. How do you help support that kid in that moment?
Yeah, again, it's the communication, supporting them through those hard losses. If they didn't make the team, they didn't play well on a game, not making anything taboo. So we get to talk about that, and we get to learn to meet, and this is a big piece of it too, learning to meet ourselves with self-compassion. Oftentimes in competitive sports, self-compassion goes out the window, and we almost feel like it takes away our edge if we're compassionate with ourselves, but it's actually the opposite. If we're able to be tender with ourselves, model it for our kids, talk them through that, that just helps them perform better, honestly.
That's like a whole new world of sports psychology now. A lot of pros are talking about their own mental work that they're doing to help themselves on their field of choice. How about, do you find that parents are sometimes maybe in denial or just not really aware of how much pressure they're putting on really little kids sometimes?
Yeah, I do unfortunately see that a lot, and I think this is a good reminder for parents to check yourselves. And it's like this with anything, with sports or academics. Oftentimes, and for most of us, our own stuff comes up because we're all human and we have our histories. So creating self-awareness as a parent, what's coming up for me? Am I having anxiety around my kids' sports? Am I pressuring them? And then working through that in however you need to. If you need your own therapy or support from friends or whatever that is, or from your partner, and then making sure that you're really meeting your child where they are at.
And there's also an opportunity as well when you're talking about kind of the social learning of it, to give your kids opportunities to, if they're struggling with a certain coach or leader, help them speak up for themselves and navigate those difficult moments as well.
Exactly. I think that playing sports can be such a great exercise in learning self-trust, learning advocacy, learning boundaries, and a lot of times parents unconsciously reinforce their kids, like they reinforce their kids feeling unempowered, but you can really do the opposite, like help your kids find their voice and use it in a skillful way.
For sure. Hey, this was a great one to talk about. Great to see you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we'll have more information on our website at katu.com, and we'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.